50 Cent is once again at the center of controversy involving Diddy, and this time, things escalated quickly. After 50 released his Netflix documentary focused on Diddy, conversations reignited around the many shocking allegations and stories that have followed Diddy for years. Although the documentary presented multiple perspectives and clearly stated that Diddy hasn't been officially charged in certain situations, Diddy and his team were reportedly furious about it.
So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. Yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity.
They took issue with the behind-the-scenes footage 50 Cent included, as well as the interviews featured in the documentary. In response, Diddy's team reportedly sent Netflix a cease and desist letter and began discussing potential legal action. But the most shocking claim of all is that some are now saying Diddy may have sent a direct threat straight to 50 Cent's doorstep.
And I hope 50 Cent got another documentary in the arsenal, because I ain't gonna lie, Diddy has finally met his motherfucking match. I love to see it. So 50 Cent had posted that Diddy sent him flowers from jail to his club appearance in Miami. And he's alleging that it's like supposed to be a threat, because y'all know that when he released that documentary not too long ago, Diddy did try to send him a cease and desist. Flopped. Not happening. So he's taking these flowers as, like funeral flowers. Like, y'all know when they get into the streets, certain shit means certain shit. So they get it, even if we don't get it, they get it. So if he's saying that these are supposed to be like a message, then they supposed to be a message. But 50 Cent responded with, what kind of is this? Diddy send you flowers at Club 11? LOL. Why all the foreplay get busy? You know I'm stupid. Yeah, like real stupid. If you know 50 Cent, but you ain't know 50 Cent. Diddy, wrap it up. Wrap it up. You did what you did. He exposed what you did. He exposed more of what you did. Wrap it up. Then he also said, a warning, I'm 90s grimy. You don't warn me, LOL. If you don't know what he mean by I'm 90s grimy, go do your research.
And this isn't new territory for 50 Cent. He's faced real threats before Supreme nearly cost him his life. And Jimmy Henchman allegedly tried to have him taken out more than once. So when Diddy makes a subtle move, 50 isn't exactly shaken. To him, this doesn't feel random. Sending funeral flowers has a long history as a street-level message. Even Al Capone was known to send flowers to enemies as a warning that something bad was coming. Ironically, 50 has done this himself. Cameron once claimed that during their beef, 50 sent him black roses along with a small coffin that said, "This could all be theatrics." Diddy's team is currently fighting to stop the documentary and have it taken down. According to reports, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs moved overnight to block the release of a Netflix docuseries scheduled to drop today. The series reportedly includes never-before-seen footage of Combs discussing legal strategy with his attorneys in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year, as well as video of him greeting fans in Harlem.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now, Combs' lawyers are demanding that Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action and claiming the platform is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release. They've labeled the project a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and directed by Alex Stapleton, who responded by saying, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights." That statement came before the cease and desist letter was sent yesterday. Stapleton and Jackson later sat down with Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
Some believe 50 Cent's fixation on Diddy has crossed into unhealthy territory, questioning why he would go this far in the first place. But according to reports, 50's resentment toward Diddy is rooted in something deeply personal, something he rarely speaks about. The person who brought this to light is Chopper, a former Bad Boy artist. According to Chopper, the tension didn't begin with a single incident. Instead, it built up over time. He explained that early in 50 Cent's career, before his breakout, some of his music passed through Bad Boy Records. Around that same period, Diddy reportedly wanted to sign one of 50's artists, but 50 refused to work with him. That decision, Chopper claims, created the first real crack in their relationship.
Here's 50 Cent's caption. Oh my goodness, itty bitty Diddy wants me dead. I have to lay low. I think I'm gonna hide out at the playoff game tonight. Because in one of the dude's testimony, he's saying that Diddy had a gun for 50 or something, like that he didn't like 50.
No, what it was is 50 Cent in his worst times in this era wrote songs for J-Lo and Diddy. Well, he wrote songs for J-Lo for Diddy. That's number one. And he wanted to sign 50, but 50 just wasn't rocking with Diddy, number one. Number two, Diddy Get Back was 50 baby mama on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Being petty. So 50 and Diddy's situation is a little more steeper and different than what people think it is, you dig? I just think in my mind, 50 is a street dude. Diddy is not a street dude, but he want to be a street dude. So he got the money to be a gorgeous gangster, AKA do street shit. But what it come down to is 50 ain't want to rock with Diddy, even though 50 wrote songs over there at Bad Boy. And then when 50 started popping, Diddy was just envious of 50 really blowing up. That's all I see it. And he his baby mama on purpose.
Chopper put it bluntly, 50 Cent is petty, and if he feels disrespected, he won't hesitate to strike when someone is already down. And that pattern is something the public has seen for years. Once 50 rose to the top and Diddy realized he could no longer control him, the shots from 50 became more frequent. Chopper also reflected on his own time at Bad Boy, saying the reality behind the scenes felt very different from what fans saw publicly. When the cameras were on, everything appeared polished and professional. But once they were off, Chopper said he began noticing behavior that made him deeply uncomfortable.
Did you ever see anything that let you know or made you think Diddy was gay?
Yeah. What do you want me to elaborate?
Can you elaborate on it? Yeah, if you can.
I just left the Bad Boy Making the Band situation. I signed over there with Bad Boy South. Kim, of course. Kim, rest in peace to Kim, which is Quincy's mama and Christian's mama, and the twins' mama. But Kim was rooting for me. Kim and Half Pia, they really liked me a lot. I signed to Bad Boy South just before the Jesus, Boys in the Hood, and Jeezy et al, and the Jots and all this. Well, I signed to Bad Boy South for whatever I signed for, which is a substantial amount of money. I kept trying to get the budget for the Lil Daddy single that Ryan Leslie produced for me. It took me 5 to 6 months to try to get it. When Diddy finally opened the budget up for me, I was in New York. And then I'm just minding my business, enjoying myself. And, we feel like we got a hit, with Chop. And everybody's excited, Half PR, the Kims and all that. They all excited about it. Well, one time I'm at Daddy's house and Half PR called me. And he was like, get Puff for me. A lot of people called him Diddy, but Half PR called him Puff. I love Half PR because he's Haitian, I'm Haitian. So it was a Haitian thing. It was always love for us. I still got love for Half. Half PR was like, put Diddy on the phone. I gotta holler at him about something. Okay. So I go into the A room. So I'm like, Paulie was there. It's big security. It's one of his main securities, actually. And I'm like, Paulie, say, bro, Diddy, Half want to talk to Puff. And Paulie was like, I can't do that until Puff green like that. So I put Half on the phone on speaker and Paulie looked the other way. When Paulie looked the other way, I walked into the room, opened the door, and I seen Diddy and a white man, very powerful white man, groping grabbing each other's crotch, kissing on each other. When I seen that, I shut the door, like, whoa.
Yeah, Diddy did do that. And since all of this unfolded, we've also heard from Jaguar right-hand her reaction to the documentary is just as explosive as you'd expect. Right from the opening moments, she points out something most people missed. Diddy is literally filming himself returning to New York just days before turning himself in. He even brings a full camera crew, almost like he's directing his own movie. According to Jaguar, no legitimate lawyer would ever advise someone to do something like that.
Well, the whole point of him filming this whole thing was because I'm sure that he planned on doing his own documentary. This is an extreme narcissist you're talking about. Extreme. He's sitting there with feds, an eye shot away from his hotel suite, filming his hotel room. And he's looking at them and he's filming them right back. He's literally saying in certain parts, yeah. Make sure you're filming all of this because we need to get some, some cutaway shots.
That's wild. That's wild.
No, he was literally, did nobody pay attention to that?
Oh, I saw it.
Like he said, yeah. Make sure you're filming all of this. We need this for cutaways. Like you're sitting here collecting footage, like a director, like an AD.
Yeah. What does that say to the cameraman that, can anybody be bought or, he said, the cameraman said he recorded all this for Diddy and then of course Diddy got locked up, so.
Yeah, Diddy got locked up and he didn't get paid. A lot of people seem to have that experience.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Dealing with Combs Enterprise. They come in and they work and they don't get paid.
She also questions how that footage was leaked in the first place, which leads her to point directly at Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo. In the documentary, Diddy repeatedly boasts about being an excellent client who followed his lawyer's advice to the letter, but Jaguar sees something deeper. In her view, Diddy wasn't focused on the victims or the charges themselves. He was focused on controlling the narrative and managing public perception.
Sat there and said, we need comms. He's sitting there talking like an evil dictator. We need comms. We need a way into this conversation. We're losing, he said. We're losing. Losing what?
Come on.
What are you losing? But the key words that he said that were so important were, we need to be able to be speaking to the potential jurors. He said, you might only be the guy that watches CNN, but there's 9 billion people in the world, and 7 billion of them are on Instagram or TikTok. We need to have control of that. He said, we need to know how these potential jurors are thinking. That's what he said.
Facts.
So what does that mean? He hadn't even been arrested yet. He hadn't even been taken into custody yet. Damian Williams hadn't come forward yet with a list of the charges that they were charging him with and what they were taking him to trial for. That didn't happen until December. So once again, they were losing? Losing what? Losing at what? We need to have control of comms. We need to make sure that we know how the potential jurors are thinking.
To Jaguar, it's clear they were already trying to shape public opinion and potentially influence a future jury poll long before the case officially began. She also spoke about how difficult it is for victims to find justice when powerful people appear protected at every level, even when someone goes to the police. Or when a special prosecutor gets involved. Cases can be reassigned, officials get moved around, and the entire process can feel stacked against the victims from the very beginning.
Look at what happened. Look at the outcome.
Hey.
What did I say to you guys? Who can these people run to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is screwing you. Look at Aubrey O'Day. The boss's boss don't care. You could go to the police, all bought and paid for, and even if you get a special prosecutor like Damian Williams, they can just be reassigned to another case. And then Maureen Comey comes in. We can't even begin to talk about that jury. We can't even begin. Not yet. We got so much more to discuss, don't we?
We got so much more to discuss. And as we delve deeper, first and foremost,
happened. I want you to think about that. Look at what happened from that. See, and this is why this documentary is I'm not calling it a documentary. I'm calling it a mockumentary. That's what I call it.
No, not Spinal Tap.
I call it a mockumentary. I feel like this whole thing is mocking me.
Jaguar believes the documentary itself was somewhat of a joke, saying the only truly new revelation for the public was Kirk Burroughs finally admitting out loud that Diddy assaulted him. According to her, plenty of people already knew, but no one had ever said it publicly before. She also reminds viewers that Kirk Burroughs has been around since the very beginning. He's witnessed things people have only whispered about for more than 30 years. And for those who aren't familiar with what actually happened, here's the context.
I had 25% of the company. I didn't know why he needed to get that back from me and then give it back to me again. I didn't understand that. That's like a trick, like, okay, here, I gave it to you, now give it back, and don't worry, I'm gonna give it right back to you. I didn't want to give it up. So he came into my office one day unexpected, him and Kenny Marsalis, they had it planned out. Kenny had the briefcase with all the stock certificates in it, and Diddy had the bat. Not like I'm gonna beat the out of you with the bat, but he had the bat like, man, we got to do this. This has to happen. I didn't feel I was gonna get beat down in that office, in all honesty. I got people that can jump out of the shadows in a minute. I wasn't threatened by him. What I was messed up over was the fact that I started this company with you from day zero, and now the one solid thing that you told me I had, you want to take that back and do a return to me on that at this critical time that we're renegotiating and getting a step up on the contract. When he told me it was about all of that renegotiating and that I should trust, I did, begrudgingly, angry, upset. It wasn't right. I did it. He got the stock back. I went on, tried to get over that, kept doing my job, doing what I had to do, delivering everything. And once again, I was caught up in the job. I forgot all about it. And next thing you know, we had the snafu. I was fired. And he just said, oh, okay, bye. And since he had never given me the stock back, he never said that he would pay me anything or give me anything. He just avoided me all these years.
And unsurprisingly, one of the key things the documentary highlights is why Diddy is the way he is. Jaguar has previously said she believes Diddy was himself a victim long before music ever entered his life. And the documentary appears to confirm that belief directly.
People really don't want to look closer into his childhood and to what his mama had going on in that house. God knows what he saw and what happened to him in his own mama house. All of those strangers, them up involved, looking around, seeing what was going on. And let's just be clear, it sounds like her house was a house of, professional freak offs. So who knows what he saw or what could have happened to him while she was busy entertaining people and pouring and getting tips, as she would say, for her after-hour life.
Oh yeah. He was. I'm gonna say he was surprised to hear that.
School bus driver. No, was he surprised or was he like, zip it, you talking too much? Because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like you talking a little bit too much. They don't need to know about that. While she was sitting up there, oh, because I was a bus driver and I was this, and I worked at the after hours. And I would pour them drinks and they would give me big tips.
She even brings up Diddy's father. Diddy has previously admitted that he felt a strange sense of relief when he learned his father had been a hustler or gangster. To Jaguar, that detail speaks volumes about how Diddy formed his identity and helps explain why control became so important to him later in life.
He wanted to say that he was a sigh of relief is a wild thing to say, that your daddy was a gangster or a hustler, that's what you heard that he was.
Well, I mean, like Tim said, they had a bunch of blaxploitation movies being played around the house all the time. They grew up with the Mac playing. They grew up with Superfly playing. Like, I mean, if that's what you got going on, you got two women in the house and there's no men around, and these are what the little boys are watching. You got basketball players coming over late at night. You got hustlers coming over, PIMPs coming over, women who look like they were modeling for Jet Magazine coming over. Like, it sounds like the nature of the environment is what shaped their perception of what cool was. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure for him it was, oh man, that's who my dad was. You know, we glorified these characters. Like, even if you look at Biggie Smalls' name, Biggie Smalls is a character from an old Portier Cosby film, Uptown Saturday Night, I believe. 40th Street Black and all of those characters that they had in the film. Biggie Smalls was played by Calvin Lockhart. Big gangster from, I believe, St. Louis. Like, all of these characters.
Yeah. Without question.
Yeah. So I'm sure for him, it made him feel good because all of that stuff that he was watching, he really came from that. But that was really his legacy. And yeah, I'm sure for him, it felt good to know that his dad was this big hustler who turned out to be a snitch, who got his brains removed from his head in a very, very, very unpleasant manner.
Jaguar also brought up something she feels has been overlooked throughout all of this. The tragedy at the City College celebrity basketball game, where 9 people lost their lives. She describes it as one of the lowest moments connected to Diddy's history, and believe he ultimately allowed to move on without facing lasting consequences. In her view, when someone believes they can escape accountability for something that's serious, it can create a dangerous sense of invincibility. Gene Deal has also spoken publicly about the tragic 1991 City College stampede. He has said that he was working security that night, and believes the disaster could have been prevented, describing a series of failures that, in his opinion, led to the loss of 9 lives.
Well, we were scheduled to do the outside of the college, outside of the gymnasium, because that's what my team was good at. You understand? I had 18 guys prepared to be outside to make sure that we could get the crowd in order. You understand? Before there was any crowd. You got to set the things up before you even get the crowd like that, especially in those type of things. And back then in the days, we used to have dogs and everything. I would have a guy with 2 dogs walking the street, making sure people go down the lane, you know what I'm saying, and don't bum rush the doors. You know, people ain't bum rushing the doors when you got dogs out there. You know what I mean? So, and it's crazy that we have to do parties like that, but that was one of our security things that we did. So now, Puff called me and said, yo, Gene, we only need 8 guys. I said, 8 guys? You can't, ain't no way you're gonna do the Shooter Collar with 8 guys. He said, no, Heavy D, because him and Heavy D was doing a party together. He was like, yo, Heavy D want the FOIs to do the outside. I said, the FOIs? He said, yeah. So I said, yo, fuck it, I ain't gonna do it. You know, and then my man, who's my partner, Slick, said, yo, man, we're gonna go ahead and do it, man. And we just gonna get a couple of bottles, just gonna chill, and, you know, we just go outside. We do the downstairs. So Puff told me that, you know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
According to Gene, the outside security that replaced them abandoned their posts, and that's when the crowd surged toward the doors. With no one managing the flow, people were forced into narrow hallways, creating the conditions that ultimately led to 9 people losing their lives.
And you blame Diddy for that?
Yeah, I do. It's his fault. But it's Jessica's fault for shutting the door. Because had she not shut the door, people would have just walked in the gym. And you'd had a gym full of people. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody would have probably died. It's her fault and it's his fault.
So you really think it's Diddy's fault? Why you believe that?
Because you don't cut security to save $1. You don't cut security when security is the most important thing that you gotta have at these places. And that's what he did. He didn't listen. He didn't listen. And I even told him, I said, yo, if the FOIs don't get a barricade away from this door, people gonna die tonight. I told that to him. And what happened? 9 people died that night.
What was his reaction to the 9 people dying?
I didn't talk to him for a while. He used to come around with us with the same game, and he just say, yo, he just speak to Gene. He like, yo, what up, Gene? I'll be like, yo, what up? I didn't speak to him until after that Suge Knight stuff that they had with Jake in Atlanta. That's when I started back really speaking to him.
Wow, because you felt the type of way about what he did?
Nah, come on, bro. 9 kids died, bro. I was pumping the chest of one little boy when my man was crying, talking about, yo, this is my first time him being out. This is the first time him being out, bro. My mama gonna kill me. I'm pumping on the chest of a little 17-year-old boy. How would you feel?
Since the documentary's release, there's been a wave of backlash against Diddy, with renewed discussion about the allegations and accusations surrounding his past behavior. Even major podcasts, including Valuetainment, have weighed in, strongly criticizing him and describing his alleged actions in extremely harsh terms.
Understand, to me, Tupac was as a young kid coming up, he played a very big role as
in your painting.
Yeah, he's
the most influential people in your life.
To me, that guy was so to me, you took this guy out. I investigated a lot of people based on the reports and things that we talked to a lot of different people. It always comes back to Diddy.
What do you think was Diddy's motivation? Is it money? Is it power?
Evil?
Is it psychopathy? Is it Machiavellianism?
And envy, control, limelight. He has to be the face and nobody can have it.
Rob Gorley,
envy, he has to be the face, he has to be the limelight. Nobody can have it more than him.
And obviously he's the reason that he became super famous. He was the producer for Biggie. And Biggie was numero uno.
Yep.
1 and 2, Tupac and Biggie.
And the guy who was partners with, the guy that brought him up, type in Diddy's first mentor. This is the guy that Diddy went and worked as his assistant at a young age, that took him in. Andre Harrell.
Who?
Andre Harrell takes him, the founder of Uptown Records. And you know what Andre Harrell does?
What does he do?
He fires him. because he says Diddy's getting out of control, disrespecting me. He fires Diddy and tells Diddy, you can leave and you can take only one client. And guess who he takes? The
Biggie?
only client he takes is, he says, you can take Biggie. Nobody else is coming with you. He allowed Diddy to leave with only Biggie, and that's when he starts Bad Boy, and he gives 25% to that guy and 75% to his mom.
Interesting.
This is the guy that mentored him. That's the guy everybody wanted to work for.
That's the 25% guy?
No, Andre Harrell
gotcha.
is the founder of Uptown Records, which everybody was under. He mentored Diddy, and he's a legend in the
Diddy
game.
became bigger than him.
If you know Andre Harrell, he's like a legit G.
Yeah.
So if Diddy is now losing the public perception war, something he was already afraid of, and having former crimes come to light, could we see a renewed case against him? Let us know in the comments below.
So if Diddy is now losing the battle for public perception, something he's long been concerned about, and past incidents are resurfacing, could that lead to renewed legal scrutiny? Let us know what you think in the comments below.